The land can be cruel, and sometimes people can be crueler still. For Ilara, barely 16, life had dealt a harsh hand. Today, it was about to deal another. Here she is, like we agreed. You've brought her safe, then. She's a hard worker. You'll get your worth. Welcome, Ilara. I'm Jacob. And these are my young'uns, Caleb, Martha, little Samuel, Ruth, and Thomas. Sold. The word echoed in the silence. Sold by the very people who should have cherished her. Now, she was in a strange place. With strangers. Her future uncertain. The first few weeks blurred into a cycle of chores. Ilara drew water from the well until her arms ached, helped Martha with the endless laundry, and tried to stay out of the way of the bustling household. The children were a constant presence, their eyes following her, their whispers sometimes reaching her ears. Jacob moved through it all with a quiet competence, assigning tasks with a nod, his gaze often resting on her with a thoughtful expression she couldn't quite decipher. One dusty afternoon, Caleb, the eldest boy, was trying to fix a broken wagon wheel. He was struggling, the heavy wood resisting his efforts. Ilara, who had often helped her father with such tasks, quietly approached. Without a word, she showed him a better way to wedge a piece of wood for leverage. Caleb looked surprised, then nodded, following her instruction. Together, they got the wheel turning smoothly again. It was a small victory, a silent moment of shared accomplishment. Little Samuel, the youngest, often trailed after Ilara, his small hand sometimes reaching for the hem of her skirt. One day, he presented her with a handful of wildflowers, their colors bright against the dusty backdrop. Ilara, touched by the simple gesture, offered him a small, hesitant smile. Martha, closer to Ilara's age, was more openly curious. She'd ask Ilara about her life before, her questions innocent but sometimes piercing. Ilara would answer in short, careful sentences, the memories still too raw. That's a pretty thing. It was my mother's. Memories can be a comfort, but they don't have to be chains. There's room here for new ones, if you're willing. Jacob never pressed her to share more than she was ready to. He seemed to understand the weight she carried, the unspoken pain in her eyes. He offered her small kindnesses, a cup of strong coffee after a long day, a piece of freshly baked bread, a quiet nod of acknowledgement for her hard work. As the seasons began to turn, Ilara found herself slowly becoming a part of the rhythm of the ranch. She learned the names of the cows, the best time to plant the corn, the way the wind whispered through the tall grass. The children no longer watched her with the wary curiosity of strangers, but with the easy familiarity of siblings. She'd read stories to them in the evenings, her voice soft, their small faces lit by the flickering lamplight. The father of 5 had unknowingly given Ilara something her own parents never did. A sense of belonging. He hadn't just provided shelter, he had offered a place in his heart, a place within the fabric of his family. She saw it in the way the children now sought her out, in the quiet acceptance in Jacob's eyes. Heard you got a new girl here, Jacob. One that belongs to others. A man named Barlow is looking for her. Says he paid good money. She belongs here now. That debt ain't mine, and it ain't hers no more. You tell Barlow to turn his horse around and ride on. Jacob's quiet strength was a shield. He might have had 5 children to care for, but he found room in his protective circle for one more. He had given Ilara a home, and he was prepared to defend it against anyone who tried to take her away. The encounter left a lingering unease, a reminder of the life Ilara had left behind, but it also solidified her place within Jacob's family. They had faced a threat together. Weeks passed. Ilara found herself laughing more freely, her smiles reaching her eyes. She helped Ruth with her lessons, shared jokes with Caleb, and even learned to play a simple tune on Martha's old harmonica. The weight on her shoulders began to feel a little lighter. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues, Ilara sat on the porch with Jacob. The children were asleep inside. A comfortable silence settled between them. "Thank you, Jacob, for everything. You're welcome here, Ilara. You're family now." Ilara, once sold and unwanted, had found a family where she was valued. The father of 5, with a heart as vast as the prairie, had given her more than just a home. He had given her a future, built not on obligation, but on kindness and the quiet bonds of love. In the quiet corners of that ranch, a broken spirit had begun to mend, nurtured by a love that asked for nothing in return, a love that simply offered a place to belong.